Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mayfly Disc Golf made by amateurs for amateurs. I'm Andrew, here with a very special guest, Mr. Nick Nielsen.
Hey, Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. It's good to have you on the video here. I feel like it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be something different for me for sure.
Yeah. So before we get started here, we'd just like to give a shout out to Blue Point Disc, today's sponsor. This is where the local pros shop. They've got a wide variety of different discs, different brands. They've got such a good, helpful staff. So definitely check them out and let them know that Mayfly Disc Golf sent you.
Well, this video is gonna have myself in it. And these are all my good buddies. This is Jace Jackson. He was in the Mustang video as well. Oh, and Tanner. He was also in the Mustang video. He's the big photon guy. And there's Stormy. He's actually the guy who got me into disc golf.
That's awesome. Got a great crew here. So looking at hole 1, it's going to be a par 3, 236 feet. Really kind of tight gap off the tee here. Would you agree?
For sure. I'd say the only real clean look he got is a big hyzer over the side, or Stormy being left-handed. He's got to go with the big Annie.
Yeah, big turnover shot, which he floats really well, actually. That was kind of a fantastic line and just a good angle.
Yeah, Stormy, he stays having to play all these right-handed holes, so he's got to figure out how to play his own game.
Work around it. That's awesome. Yeah, this I feel like this is always a really good starting hole. Anytime I've been out to Eldon, I just feel like, this hole is short enough and it's tricky enough that, you really kind of get yourself warmed up and ready for the next couple of holes. So it's pretty nice.
Absolutely. So on this one, they actually moved it back for these new baskets. It's probably about 60, 70 feet deeper.
Wow.
But that right side still plays as an OB. There's stakes out there to market.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I was given the heads up. So so Eldon Lyon here, so they have all new baskets. And so I'm guessing, so they're all in different tee positions now?
Some are, some aren't. They added a couple new positions. The main part is they've put in some new disc catchers. My favorite baskets by far.
Yeah.
And
yeah, those are great.
Those have been great. I appreciate all the work everyone's been doing out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think this course it's a lot of fun. It was definitely needing an upgrade on the baskets, but I think now that those are kind of set in, I think we'll see kind of a rise in people playing this course for sure.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite courses to play for sure. It's scoreable and it's punishing at the same time. You got to have a little bit of distance. You can get field work in without going out to a field throwing in nothing. Same rate.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So hole 2, par 3, 339. This is at the original location. The new pin location is just a little bit short of that doubled tree. It's probably about 60, 70 feet closer, actually. It's more of a mid-range play.
Yeah.
And for this one, they have 2 Mandos. You have to go in between that power, I think it's a power line on that right side, and as well as that tree on the left. You can maybe see like a white M on it.
Gotcha. And that's new. They, I back when I was playing this course, I would play with people that would throw kind of like a big hyzer line over the street, kind of try and sneak something in, which, seemed like a great play.
Oh, for sure. Some people like to park there like you see now, and takes that line away, so you have to be versatile a little bit.
Yeah.
But gosh, what a terrible shot skipping out of bounds like that for me.
Yeah, I gotta say, the forehand play is actually it's also kind of my favorite. Just on this particular hole, I just feel like it's the cleanest and the easiest, keeps you in the fairway.
Absolutely. I'd say the turnovers are what makes pros, so it's a little bit tougher to get up to. I guess if you're not gonna be used to throwing forehands, that's the way to go for sure. But
yeah,
if you can get a forehand down, that's the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great putt there too.
I appreciate
Very
that.
clean.
Good par save.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Stormy, I mean, he really blasted that backhand.
Yeah, Stormy's got it down, Pat. You'll see he throws maybe like 15 discs, but he knows those 15 discs ignorantly well.
Oh, that's great.
I was gonna go clean up. I didn't know you were gonna go.
So moving from hole 2 to hole 3, this is also a par 3. It's 351 feet. You've got a kind of a weird tree line here that you're just wanting to kind of get clean off the tee. I mean, there's a couple of gaps kind of through the tree lines, and there's a couple of different lines here, but kind of blasting one, flexing a backhand is, I would say, kind of the more common play here.
Absolutely. This one is at its new location. That old basket's still there. You can kind of see it next to that larger tree that Stormy hit.
Yeah.
Off to the right side, but I'd say a nice flip up the flat shot and let it fade over is how this hole should be played. I managed to find OB again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a sidewalk over there that marks OB, so be careful for that one, and the tree kicks will get you.
Yeah. Kind of a nice kick off the tree there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Stormy's got such a smooth throw. It's
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's one thing I try to pick off of Stormy is how smooth he is. He just looks effortless.
Yeah.
And I feel like I always have to chunk a disc as hard as I can to get to where it is, but I think it's throwing more understable is maturing in disc golf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Looked like Jace gave it a half bid there.
Yeah, almost looked like it was a bit of an attempt just to get a throw in. Oh, man. That was so close.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Tanner. One thing I love about Tanner is he's not afraid to run everything.
Yeah. Well, when you're out and having fun, I mean, what's the harm in,
Absolutely.
harm in running it?
You're 100% correct, but I just don't think of that. It's going to bite me in the long run, I guarantee it, though.
Right. And just pretty much cleaning everything within circle.
So moving on to hole 4, it's going to be a par 4, 426. The idea here is to get it to that park bench. On that right side, it's a lot more open than on that left side. Left side's jail. The old basket location is just off to the left. So like this is that look you get if you hit that park bench.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice little backhand approach or any forehand.
Yeah, and before the new basket position, so this was playing as a par 3, and the hole was quite a bit shorter. I don't ever remember it being in a par 4 position like this.
No, this is a new one. One of the local pros, Isaiah, actually designed this one. He said, let's move it back, make it a par 4, and demand a gap hit.
Yeah.
But I think it was maybe 250 originally, like just nice little highs that you could throw as overstable approach to it.
Yeah. I remember this being, it was fun to kind of mess with this hole because the basket was so close, like, trying to find different lines. So going with like a flippy mid-range and like trying to throw it straight at the basket, or just trying different throws off the tee. It was always a blast.
Absolutely. And Stormy shows you the look you get if you hit that right side, and you got to tap in for his birdie.
Yeah. I will say this seems like a pretty reasonable par 4 with the new position, though. It doesn't seem like off the gap or off the tee hitting a gap is a little demanding, but I feel like, even even if you miss the gap, like you'll still have not the farthest approach, to try and get to the basket.
Absolutely. It can be punishing if you're left and short, but if you're right and short, you might be able to scramble a little bit. But
Yeah.
Jace took the advice a little too serious and landed underneath the table. So
I was about to say, it looked like he was trying to find where to stand or.
we were messing with him. We were like, get on top of the table and we won't give you a foot fault for it.
Yeah, that would have been totally fair.
It would have been like that Calvin put off the boulder.
Right.
Do you see that? I can't remember if it was Blue Ridge or another one.
I think it was Blue. I think it was Blue Ridge.
But great birdies from Stormy and Tanner there.
Yeah, those were awesome. Yeah, that's such a cool new position for those baskets. That's awesome. So moving on to hole 5 here. It's a par 3. It's 329 feet. This is such a tight gap right off the tee. You've got these 2 lanes of trees that you just have to pretty much throw something dead straight.
Some people, if they really want to just go for par, they do a big hyzer off that right side.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that a lot more in tournament play. But my opinion, the only way you're getting a birdie is you pump something straight it.
Yep. Yeah, straight down the gut for sure.
It's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah. And honestly, even I would typically throw a forehand just to get something straight through the gap, rather than throwing the backhand, just because my forehand's just a little bit smoother. But I'd still only be playing for a par because there's
Right.
just there's no way to get it all the way up there.
It's tough. I got lucky enough to, when I played it in the Scissortail Open, it was the one run by I think it was OKCGA, but I was the solo birdie on this hole for that one. and
Really?
I just flexed a photon through the gap, exactly how you said it, and got lucky enough to make a 30-footer.
That's awesome. And that's tough. I mean, like I said, getting clean off the tee is such a hard thing on this hole. So that's honestly crazy impressive.
It's I'd rather be lucky than good.
Right.
And there's my missed 30-footer. That's how you tap in a par.
That's exactly right. And that's okay.
We take pars, we don't take bogeys.
Oh man, just off the top band. That's so rough.
Lucky for Stormy. You don't see him miss too many in the circle.
Yeah.
Tanner's another one that's always dialed on the putt. Jason and I like to ride the struggle bus on putting.
Yeah.
But you can never be too good of a putter.
That is true, actually. I do agree with that. I've talked about it on the channel here multiple times, but putting, I don't know why, it's just the hardest thing.
Absolutely. We'd all
I'd
be
rather throw
all
400
good.
feet.
Well, hole 6, par 3, 217. It's off to the right here now. And you can either do, I've seen the spike hyzer over this tree on the right. I've seen straight at it, which is a very common play. Or if you got that forehand like you've been saying you've got, nice straight and something overstable finishes towards the basket.
Yeah. I like the putter throw here, the putter idea. I mean, it's 217, so it's pretty short.
So you can still see the old pin location just straight up on that hill. I like that pin location a whole lot more personally. I feel like it gives you the green light to run an ace.
I totally agree. Honestly, I think the original pin position I think it's so much more fun. And I think it's quite a bit more difficult. I think having it up on the hill and then running the risk of like a roll down, I think it just adds a little element of like, I need to be like perfect hitting this hill. Otherwise, it's game over and then you're trying to throw uphill 70, 80 feet.
Uphill putts are another element too, and you hit basket and it's not sitting in the basket, it's rolling down.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
Yeah. And I will say for people that haven't played Eldon before, you know, they have this really cool variety of these, you know, uphill throws and downhill throws. You know, the combination of open throwing versus wooded throwing. This course actually has a lot of variety that I feel like some courses here in Oklahoma just don't have. So I feel like this kind of gives a lot of players a lot of variety just to kind of test, you know, different disc in different conditions, but then also, you know, getting to practice a variety of throws.
Absolutely. It's not too often in the Oklahoma you get to see elevation change too drastic, and this is as close as we get.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of elevation change, we've got hole 7. It's a par 3, 215 feet. You've got the tee down there by the where you can see all the guys, and then you've got this huge uphill throw. You know, honestly, I like to throw a big spike, like spike forehand, just because I feel like throwing the backhand, you run the risk of rolling downhill on the left. So I usually don't typically go with a backhand throw.
I think that's definitely the best option. See, there it is.
Yeah,
you hyzer out too early, you're at the bottom of the hill. You got to just perfectly crest the hill and touch it.
Yeah.
It's not my normal play to go backhand, but I was feeling it that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and sometimes, I mean, depending on how the wind is pushing and stuff too, you know, you could actually end up in a great position throwing backhand if the wind's pushing your disc down. But on the other days that it's not, you know, I definitely think the forehand is kind of a safer play, even if it leaves you, you know, 30 or 40 feet short of the pin.
For sure. And say you don't crest the hill and you're at the top of the hill, that's a death putt that no sane person really wants. Great pace on that putt from Tanner.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That's confidence right there. Stormy tapping it in.
Yeah.
I asked him, I was like, were you up? You threw your felon to pitch up? He's like, no, that was my shot. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It's cheating. He's left-handed.
Yeah, that is.
So hole 8, par 3, 348. This is one of the new locations. They moved it probably 100 feet left. The original pin location, you could see it off there to the big tree. I'd say the only good play is straight at it. Something flippy enough to handle it. If has Oklahoma wind, then I'd maybe throw a hyzer.
Yeah.
But this hole is a whole lot tougher now.
Yeah, I agree. You know, you used to, with the old pin position, you could kind of sneak around, you know, that tree that sits right next to the old pin, get around on like the right side and let it hyzer down. But by adding all this extra distance and stuff on it, it definitely adds a lot more difficulty to the hole.
For sure. And in casual rounds, we typically play that rail on that's deep as OB. But in the last tournament that they held there and all the minis, for some reason in the caddy books, they never mark it out of bounds. So
Really?
I went with the big forehand. I went with the big hyzer on the backhand.
Yeah.
It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But no matter what, I feel confident about parring this hole anywhere on that right side as long as I'm not at the base of a tree.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, you know, with the new pin position, I do like that it's a little bit more open, because sometimes it felt a little bit pinched off near the tree, which I think added a different level of difficulty. But yeah, I like where the basket's been positioned, just because it feels a little bit more open for the putt.
For sure.
So hole 9, this is a par 4. It's 533 feet. This one is way down the gut. You've got a pretty open fairway. You've got this tree line off to the right side that kind of prevents any sort of big hyzers unless you can get it over the tree line. But I feel like this is also a new position because you can see the original basket was quite a bit closer, so it was a little bit easier.
Yeah, this one's throw it straight and throw it far. Two of the toughest things in disc golf. And
Yeah.
Tanner just threw a little too stable there. Stormy with his G-Star Destroyer. He eats up so much distance with that thing all the time. Jail is definitely in those trees off to the right. Like that rail goes all the way down. It's typically out of OBE, but those trees will eat you a lot of the time before anything else.
Yeah. And then is road or is walk path out of bounds as well?
That is also out of bounds. So
Okay.
a lot of pars are taken on this hole. If you could throw it 200 feet and then throw 300 foot up shot or vice versa, you easy tap in birdie. But
Yeah.
the further you eat it up the distance, the easier the approach shot's going to be. So you like to go for it a little bit.
Yeah.
This is one of the better throws I had on this hole with that DD1. It was the right wind for it, a little bit ahead, so you got the flip up and over.
Yeah, those DD1s, they're such good headwind discs. Just, kind of built for a headwind, built for distance. They're awesome.
It's my furthest flying disc, I'd say. I
Yeah.
throw a Thrasher. It's a little bit more understable, but takes a little bit more skill to throw more understable.
Yeah. And I feel like most everybody's tapping in birdies on this, or is that right?
Tanner's tapping in a par because he went OB off the drive, but I believe
Hmm.
everyone else should be tapping in birdies. Yep, Jace
That's
got
awesome.
a birdie. I think I rolled down to the bottom of this hill, so a little bit of a tester.
Tester putt.
Yeah, knees were shaking a little bit.
Great putt though.
I
That was
appreciate that.
such a clean putt. Yeah, that was awesome.
Moving on to hole 10. It's a par 3, 236, straight ahead. The old pin location's just behind that tree off to the right. It used to just be a big hyzer. Either way, if you want to forehand it or backhand it. But
Yeah.
we had as you can see, a pretty good rain. That water is not normally there.
Yeah, this is not a water carry by any means. I mean, it is apparently today, but it's not normally a water carry.
This one is a good one to get your ace runs in for sure.
Oh yeah.
Throw a putter. I threw a flippy mid just because I trust the flippy mid, but I'd say putter is probably your best bet here. And there's Jace with a great throw from his judge.
So far, all park jobs, which is awesome.
It's over it. Probably have a 30-foot look.
Yeah, a bit of a long putt.
Yeah, Tanner's got that spin putt that it just glides forever.
Some good tap-ins. Yeah, I feel like this, kind of same thing. This new pin position just adds a different level of difficulty, but yeah, I feel like it didn't change very much as far as, where the positioning and stuff like that was.
Not too much. Every course has to have their gotta gets, and this was the gotta get.
Yeah. Yeah. And then a hole 11 here. So this is a par 4. It's 354 feet. You've got a mandatory tree off the tee at the very, very end. You can see the last tree over there on the left-hand side. So you'll see everybody try and pitch around the corner and then throw for the approach and try and get themselves within birdie range.
Yep, so we filmed this just after the 4th of July, and they always have the big 4th of July event here. So they fence that area off where they're going to pop off all the fireworks. So the fence isn't normally there, but we still play.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say, but I'd say that if no cars are there, that straight shot to the pin, not missing out that Mando, playing some jungle golf, it's a real good time.
That's very fun. Yeah, I thought it was always cool just to try and go to just to get the eagle, you know, try and throw straight towards the basket and put yourself within position of it. So,
Tanner laying up off the fence.
yeah, that Mando's tough. You know, I think it's more distance than people anticipate. I know that this fence line is going to be tough for the approaches and for the putts, but I just feel like trying to get that mandatory and stuff like that. I think it's just more distance than people anticipate most of the time.
For sure. People want to get as far left as possible, so you're taking your most overstable disc, and sometimes you don't put enough juice on it, so you're gonna beat the tree line, or you're gonna beat that Mando line, and you're still throwing from that Mando. But the other option is you're throwing from the center of that field and just taking you just as far away.
Yeah. What a cool Anheuser approach.
He works that into you really well. The shot shaping is there for a Tanner.
Oh, that's so close.
Gotta love the bands. At least I'm missing high.
Right.
It's never fun to miss low. It's never fun to miss, but if I had to miss, I guess high is the way to go.
High is better than anything.
And Stormy taking a page out of my book.
Just some tap-in pars for the group. Oh. Very nice.
So hole 12, par 3, 315. This one's another obstructed one from the fence. This one's kind of dealer's choice. However, you want to get 315, you got to get 315.
Oh, that's gotta be impossible.
Yeah,
I
so
mean-
with the fence, we were all thinking try to spike something down right on top of it. So we all dissed up a little bit. Stormy was telling me that he did this Annie line and spiked it right next to it. But
Wow. What a cool throw. Oh, just outside the fence.
yeah. So putting is going to be interesting for this one.
Yeah.
I did my normal play. I threw my Thunderbird at it 90% of the time. But leaving her short, I'd still probably have like a 30-footer at that rate.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy because, you know, obviously if the pin's 315, like even if you wanted to get over the fence, you've got to throw an extra 20 feet, you know, plus the elevation, trying to get it out and around. It's crazy.
Yeah. Jace was trying to do that here with this shot. He said, I'm going to disc up a hair. Grip lock, got him. And Street was playing OB. He lands across the street.
Oh, wow.
But he's on the other side of the fence, at least.
Oh, wow.
He
Jeez.
is over the fence.
That is a plus.
So now it's a elevator putt. So I think this one, you kind of want to be as close to the fence as possible. Like Tanner's tall enough to maybe turbo putt.
Yeah. Or you can even try like a scuba shot and try and throw something in. God, this is so difficult. It's so close.
Yeah, you want to have enough space to get it up and down, but you also don't want to be right at it. So I'd say Tanner probably had the best lie, if I had to guess. But
Yeah.
the old pin location is about 80 feet to the where we're standing now is to the right.
Yeah.
So it was just a little bit bigger of a bomb, but still nothing in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is a cool hole just because you really get to just kind of throw as hard and as long as you possibly can and just, throw a big bomb.
Yep, for sure. Then I'm just taking my time to go tap in my par.
Yeah.
There was a gap in the fence, like probably like a disc's width.
Yeah.
So you could try to peer that, but
Could try doing
not
it.
likely.
Yeah. So hole 13, it's a par 3, 311 feet. So Nick, did they move the pin closer, I'm guessing?
They did. It's probably about 40 feet closer, is my guess.
Some. Yeah, you've got this tree line off to the right-hand side, so it kind of obstructs any sort of backhand throws, but it's pretty open shot for the most part.
For sure. I just take my Star Destroyer every single time and throw it out in the field, let it fade, do its thing, and it's so overstable that it doesn't let me get too much distance a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
that was so parked. Throwing a proxy.
Yeah, Tanner's insane. He throws putters, he throws mids, he leaves his drivers in the bag for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But
I like the idea of sort of like an Anheuser, putter throw. But that's a lot of distance to chew off with a proxy.
Jace is almost rang up some chains with the big Annie from the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
We were all getting ready. We were all getting ready for that one. We all thought I had a shot. Oh, I didn't even remember if I made or missed that putt, but I'm glad I made it.
No, it was a great putt. It's a good, strong putt. Like, honestly, you had that pretty much parked. I think that forehand throw that's typically what I do on this hole too. So I feel like that's awesome.
That was a great putt by Jace too.
Yeah.
Jace put a lot of work in between the last two, the Mustang video and this video. He's trying to dial in his putt, and he got new putters, and he became a new putter for some reason. He got a whole lot better, a lot more
That's
confident.
awesome.
I'd say confidence is key. But
Yeah.
hole 14, par 3, 537. This one, got to take your max distance and throw it. I've seen
Yeah.
people, a lot of the pros I see roll it. I never have really been a big roller guy, but I'd
Yeah.
say take a understable distance driver. If you flip into the field, it's a field. Nothing really punishing you.
Yeah. No obstruction that you have to worry about. And it seemed like you really ripped on this disc. And
Yeah.
it's-
The old basket, I want to say, was probably 480. You can see it off to the left. But this one has 3 pin locations. So it has that pin location that it's currently at. The old pin location you can still see. And then in the tree line off to the left, that's another pin location they have. It's pretty close to the street. So I'm assuming they probably moved it to this one just for the reason being that they had to still make it playable, probably for 4th of July.
Yeah. And it looks like that throw just got a little bit of too much height on it, maybe. But what a smooth throw, man.
Yeah,
That was so good.
Jace got that rock, and it's been pretty well seasoned. Like, I've seen it when it started super stable, and it's slowly beating in. Those Halo plastics, they just learn how to glide over time.
Yeah. Yeah, once they're not overstable, they're like the longest throwing, most stable discs. It's crazy.
Absolutely. This is something I always like to do, is give stuff like those open shots a little half bid, just put some on a spike hyzer angle, and if I hit something,
Oh, yeah.
I hit something. I am getting used to a new approach disc. I lost my old zone I've been throwing since I started,
Yeah.
and that's one of those I lost sleep at night for sure.
So did you just switch over to a different zone?
I have since this video switched to do another Big Z zone, but I was trying out the harp in this one.
Yeah.
The harp is just a little deeper
Yeah.
for my liking.
So hole 15, it's a par 3, 345 feet. Looks like it's tucked under these couple of trees here. Is it off to the right side of where the original basket was?
You got it.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, this is just one of those ones where it's pretty straightforward throw. Honestly, I feel like this kind of works well for a backhand, like left-handed backhand thrower, just from where the position of the pin is now.
For sure. Ideally, the perfect throw is something stable enough to where you're getting around just around the tree line,
Yeah.
I'd say. So
What
I was
a
just
beautiful
in front
throw.
of it.
Nice.
But I think ideal is just behind it.
Yeah.
But Tanner's a different being, and he just takes a mid, throws it all the way there.
Get out left.
Have you ever thrown one of those hexes?
Wow. Actually, I have. A buddy of mine got a Lazadal hex and threw it a couple times. It was brand new, so it was a little bit more stable than I think. What happens whenever they break in, but they seem pretty nice. I'm a huge fan of the Origin though. That's probably like my favorite understable mid.
I love the Origin as well.
Yeah.
But Jace has liked his throw from 2 holes before that with the Roadrunner and copied and pasted it for this one.
Yeah.
Just shorted it on the putt for his birdie. Oh, I got lucky.
Ooh, sneak that in. That was awesome. And what a beautiful drive too. I mean, just like such a perfectly flat to hyzer. It was so good.
I appreciate that. That Orion, it's I have the LS, which is long and straight, I believe is what
Yeah.
the idea of it is. But I had that recommended to me by a person at a disc store, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
That's awesome.
So hole 16, par 3, 442. It's used to play on that hill, as you can see off the left, but the ideal throw, I'd say, is probably going to be a backhand turnover. 90% of the time, you're going to have a tailwind on this hole. So I have since switched up the play after playing it a couple times. I like to forehand my DD1, which I typically am not allowed to do that because it's going to roll.
Right.
But that tailwind keeps me up. That tree is the biggest obstacle of this hole, I'd say. If you can get it around that, you're pretty money.
Yeah. Yeah, that tree's a beast. I feel like it's just a disc catcher. It's crazy.
Like I've lost 1 or 2 in there, I want to say.
Yeah.
I can't wait for fall disc golf.
Yeah. It'll be
Stormy
nice.
did it pretty ideally. That G-Star Destroyer he was flipping on hole 10 or 9, I mean. But understable is key on this one, I would say. With 90% of the time you get a tailwind. Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, Jace.
Wow. And that's pretty much that's like the perfect throw. Maybe just a little extra distance to kind of bite off, but that was pretty ideal.
For sure. This is a rare sighting for a Tanner forehand. It doesn't happen too often. Just playing with Tanner, he does have a forehand, but he only has 4 fingers on his right hand, so it's not the easiest to grip. He's missing the middle finger, so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's a little learning curve for him.
Yeah, I can see that would be tough. Just the grip feeling unnatural and stuff.
But you wouldn't even guess it, like how much spin he gets on the disc with his backhand. It just looks like a bomb every time.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's got so much distance and so much power behind his throw. It's awesome.
There was a frustration throw for Tanner at the end there.
Yeah. Well,
Does
just
happen.
catching edge and getting that roll is such a bummer. But it's a good recovery shot for sure.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there it is.
Such a good putt. Oh,
We're all leaving him a little short. Stormy's putting with his driver. Oh yeah.
oh, you're kidding.
This basket did not want to catch.
Oh my gosh. That's so rough. That's always the worst. It's, when it's sort of just like a fluke, throw, and that's so tough.
For sure. At least it was the whole card. We don't leave a man behind.
Right, exactly. So hole 17, it's one of the easier ones on the course. It's a par 3, 238 feet. Looks like they did just move it just to the right of where the original pin position was.
Yeah, I believe it's right in maybe 30 feet back, but they took away the old pin location, so you're not get to see that.
Yeah. The old
The
pin
ideal
location was kind of
play-
fun.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just going to say that old pin position was so fun because I feel like it was a very much like an ace run position.
For
But
sure. But as you can see, all of us, the ideal play is to hang something out there on the right, let it fade in. Whatever you trust, honestly.
yeah. That's a really nice throw with a felon.
So short.
Great putt.
Very nice birdie.
Another great tap in birdie.
Putts are looking good now.
Putts are looking good. It's weird at the end of the round. Stormy, I had to watch his head from tapping that one in. There's a star frame.
Awesome.
And hole 18, par 3, 340. 90% of the time, you're going to see someone rip destroyer-esque disc straight and let it skip over to the basket. You'll see it with Stormy. He's going to hit that left gap in between those two trees. That you could forehand. This is another option for that. I've recently just switched that being my play for sure.
Yeah.
But ultimately, street long is the only real danger on this one. This got to the point of the round where me and Tanner started chirping each other a little bit, where scores were a little tight.
Of course. Oh, man. What a bad tree kick.
Yeah, that's the danger of trying to hit a gap. That they can be punishing.
Yeah, for sure.
But Stormy picks up the same exact disc. Just throws it.
Don't do it.
Absolutely pures it.
Puts it underneath
Oh
the
my
basket. That T-Bird 3. It's one of those Ricky Wysocki T-Bird 3s. And
Yeah.
so it's got its seasoning to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Well-
good run, Jace.
Wow. Got some long bids for the birdie.
Player 2 missed
Man.
too.
Yeah.
I think this is the tie, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it is?
I think this is for the tie. Wasn't ready for the moment.
Oh, man. It's a good bid, though. I mean, pretty much from what it looked like, pretty online.
Yeah, I said just don't leave it short.
Yeah. This is some pretty solid cleanup from the rest of the card. And honestly, I mean, everybody's final score was actually pretty great for, the round. Was this your all's first time playing with the new positions, the new tee positions?
I don't believe so, actually. I played it in a tournament. Jace lives in Mustang, so he's about a 10-minute drive from here. Tanner's about a 10-minute drive, so I don't believe so. But me and Stormy have definitely played there before. It's a
That's
great
awesome.
course. I love the new changes. I feel like it made it more of a score separating course for sure.
Yeah. I definitely like a lot of the changes that Eldon made to the baskets. I'm glad they put in new baskets for sure. Yeah, it still feels like the same original Eldon Lyon, but also, just add in maybe a little bit, just some different types of throws and some extra distance on most of those holes. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, before we end this, what I'd like to do, Nick, is just kind of ask you a couple questions about your experience and stuff with disc golf and kind of your time playing. So, kind of just to start us off, how long have you been playing disc golf for?
I started in high school, I would say, but that was just an excuse to get outside, I would say. But really competitively and keeping score, I'd say I'm one of the COVID boomers for sure. So
Yeah,
I'd say I'm coming up on year 3 now.
that's awesome. With that being said, you know, we first of all just want to say a huge thank you for, shooting these videos and stuff with us, letting us, shoot you around. It's been awesome. And, love having you here in the booth as well. So we want to try and do that more often. What's something that you'd like to see change, at least in Oklahoma disc golf?
Well, I appreciate you guys filming me. I've never really filmed myself. It's great to get a little bit of film going, and it's an awesome opportunity. I love the cause of awareness of Oklahoma disc golf. The changes I would make for Oklahoma disc golf would be maybe adding a couple more wooded courses would be the ideal thing. I think we're doing a great job of taking care of the courses we have now. Everyone works super hard, and there's a lot of community outreach. There's some of the greatest people I've met have been on the disc golf course. It's it's just a little bit of more like a field work. There's not really a mix between woods and field golf. I'd say the closest thing's probably Mitch Park, but aside from that, I mean, I love everything about playing and getting outside and meeting a whole bunch of new people. Everyone's the kindest people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that we definitely talk about a lot on our channel is just that how much of a it's such a great community in the Oklahoma disc golf area. There's obviously a lot of different courses and there's a lot of tournaments that are hosted out here and there's just a really cool, friendly community along with that. And so it's incredible how far disc golf in Oklahoma has come, and hopefully, I honestly kind of agree that I'd love to see some more wooded courses and stuff in Oklahoma. I think that'd be a lot of fun because there's not all that drastic change in elevation. I feel like wooded courses would uh, really kind of elevate the disc golf scene for sure. Um, and then just kind of as the last question, I'd love to know who's your favorite MPO player, who's your favorite FPO player, and maybe who do you anticipate winning Worlds this year?
All great questions. I'd say I base a lot of my disc choice off of Calvin or Greg Barsby. Calvin Heimberg, like consistency is key for him, and he's the best player in the world right now, hands down, in my opinion. FPO, I mean, it's a competition for second place every week behind Kristen, but um, I can't really narrow down one. I watch so many FPOs because I watched I don't watch male players with their disc recommendations. I'm like, I'm not gonna have their arm speed, so I
Sure.
watch like FPOs disc recommendations because I feel like it's a little bit more matched.
Yeah.
But I love all of the Innova players. I forgot there was a local FPO player on tour. I forgot what her name was off the top of my head. It's Jennifer Allen. That is exactly who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was from Moore, I believe, or something like that.
She's from
Oh, Blanchard. Okay.
Blanchard. Yeah. So we actually got to meet her out at the DDO. Super nice, first of all. But yeah, confirmed. She was born and raised in Oklahoma and super nice, super friendly. So that's awesome. And then any anticipation on who's going to win Worlds this year in MPO or FBO?
Where's it held again?
It's going to be in Vermont this year, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be some really interesting disc golf.
I'm gonna have to go with my favorite pick and root for Calvin for sure.
Yeah. I think he's due for a Worlds win. I think he just deserves one. The amount of consistency the guy's had, it's been
For
crazy.
sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, you know, want to say thank you again for coming on, doing the commentary with us, and also a big thank you to Jace, Tanner, and Stormy for doing this video. Um, Make sure and follow all these guys, including Nick, on Instagram. Just so you can kind of keep up with them, see what they're up to. And yeah, make sure and like, subscribe. Leave us comments if you're interested in shooting a video with us. We'd be happy to do so. And again, just big thank you to Nick. Really appreciate you having on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And next time you're in town, we got to go get a round in.
Yeah, will too. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on the course.